What does Yikla mean? It means this is the life. And well, it certainly is. Check this out. I've got it all to myself today. So where does Yikla come from? So when I was around 16, I was working at a solicitor's, and every now and then I'd left school early, and I would every now and then go across the road to treat myself to lunch to the food court. And this one day I've gone across and there were no seats available. So I've asked an elderly gentleman if I could share his table, and he said yes. And I sat with him, and he very much appeared to be homeless, and I asked him to share some things about himself. And he went on to tell me how he was one of the early explorers to Antarctica, and that how when they were there, they had people from different countries, so there wasn't a common language. And they would also have to send Morse code to communicate, but it was super expensive, so they would reduce sentences into words. And they had words, all were 5-letter words, and they had words for check out the size of that seal, or honey, we can't call tonight, or kiss the kids goodnight for me, so that they communicate with home or within the base. And he had said that Yikla was his favourite word, and it meant this is the life. And I said to him then, I'm like, one day I'm going to have a van and I'm going to call it Yikla, and I'm going to travel around Australia in it. And anyway, a few weeks or a short time passed after I met him, and I saw him on the front of the paper being honoured for his work in Antarctica. And they were honouring him at that time because he had sadly passed away. However, his memory can live on, because after many experiences, after a brain blip, 5 years of not being able to work after that blip, running up around 70 grand in debt and having to sell my house later, I am now living in Yikla, and it is Yikla. It is the life. I love it. I have my beautiful truck and also an amazing caravan. And if somebody asked me when I was sort of 15 or 16, or if he asked me then, what do you see that looking like? I probably would have said like, oh, maybe a combi or something like that. I could not have imagined how beautiful my home could be on wheels and the positions that I would be put into through different circumstance to bring about so much more than I could have imagined. Sorry, the March flies are crazy. So remember that we don't necessarily need to limit our dreams, because they can be so much more than what we can conceive if we just know the direction that we want to go and what we want to feel within ourselves. And also to remember that if circumstances come up that may not be seen as desirable, let's say, remember to see that and that know that they are beyond that moment, that not everything is just in this moment, that even though things might not be what we hope them to be in a moment, that it is that moment that will lead us to all we want them to be. So yes, Yikla! Be true, be you, be love. Mwah.